Welcome to my YouTube channel. I will go with the first sentence of the update and wish you all a happy new year. It has been a while, I've been away for a bit, but now we are back, and we are back with a Kingdom Death Monster update. It is not a huge update, so I think most people at this moment are just interested in when the Gambler's Chest will arrive at their doorstep. And it's also no Dark Herald, so yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I didn't expect anything huge, so I think we will just roll with it and see what's going on exactly. Alright, before we go into this, I want to take a quick look at the store and what items have been added for this update. And afterwards, I also want to take a quick look at the winners of the painting contest, because those results are finally out, they made it, and yeah, I think there's some great stuff there. The first new miniature released in the store is called Hellebore, a frozen survivor, and it looks to me like a early game female survivor miniature. It has these beta gear cards, so this is a beta release. I personally am not a huge fan of the beta content because I don't like these blue banners they put on the cards, and sometimes the print quality of the card isn't as good as the original content, so just be aware of that if you want to buy this. And else, I think the miniature looks amazing, and I always like to have early game characters, male and female ones, so I think this is quite cool. The second release is called Barbarian Lucy, and it is without game content, so it's a miniature only. I think also a very cool miniature, cool pose. Always like to see a female character with a huge weapon. In this case it's a huge axe. So I think you should consider if it is worth the price to buy a miniature without game content. But yeah, if you like the pose, if you like to have a female character with an axe, with a dynamic pose, I think this is the right thing for you. Alright, now let's take a look at the miniature painting contest. These first three are the overall winners, and I think they are well-deserved winners. If you just look at this overall winner, the first place, it just looks so amazing. Look at the flowers, look at the water, look at the colors. It's just a well-deserved win, and all these painters have my admiration. They've done such a beautiful job, and yes, very inspiring to see all of this. So these pictures, some of them are not sorted very well by the Kingdom Death team, I assume. So if you click on them, there's no listing what place they exactly won. But down here we have the winner for best skin. But I'm especially happy that down here, my favorite one, the one with the umbrellas on the beach, made it into a best story and did actually win because I think it's just a funny and a great idea, and also very well done. So yeah, after all, just looking at all these entries and even the entries that didn't win, because everybody is a winner here, everybody will get a King's coin. And yeah, I think that's just a very nice thing to do of the Kingdom Death team. I think it will take a while until everybody will get his coin. I read in the update that they had sent out about 80 by this point. So there have been around 400 entries, so this will take a while. But yeah, I'm sure everybody will get his coin. And yeah, I'm of course as well down here somewhere with my entry. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to receiving this coin. And yeah, seeing all these great paintings, I decided to contact some of my viewers and ask them if they would like to send me some pictures, or if I could use some pictures they showed before on Facebook and other platforms. so I can show them to you in my next video. So I hope this works out and everybody will respond to my messages. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to showing you this because it's just very inspiring to me. And it gives me the greatest joy to watch all these miniatures and what people do, especially with the stuff that I'm modeling. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I hope I can show you some pictures in my next video. But now we will go into the update and look at some of the things Adam wants to show us here. So first of all, we have the Showdown Board, which seems to be nearly done, because yeah, this still looks like a prototype to me. And I think he even writes somewhere that this still has to go into tooling. So my friends, you will have to wait a little longer till this arrives at your doorstep. But yeah, I think he gives some explanation to why this is taking so long. They originally intended this whole thing to be made out of large slabs, and now it is tile based. And that is some great news for everyone who purchased it, because this will allow for future exchange of single parts, of single tiles of the base. So maybe there will be some future terrain pieces. And I know that some or most of you probably would have thought that the base would come with 3D terrain. But yeah, at least this way there's a possibility for future terrain. And if it would have been these large slabs, I don't think that would have happened at all. So I think it's somewhat a good thing, also a bad thing, because I think this board still looks pretty prototype. There's no edge around it. But on the other hand, I'm pretty pleased that he's not putting too much work into it. So it just can get out of the way and he can focus on the other things, the bigger things that were promised with this Kickstarter. So yeah, there are always two sides to this. But yeah, if you have bought it, I think, especially on this picture where it sits on the table, I think it looks pretty cool there. And yeah, for me, this is just another situation where I look at something from Kingdom Death and I think to myself, how could I improve this? And yeah, maybe in the future I will make my own terrain tiles that fit with the board, or make my own frame for this board and maybe integrate some storage space for books or cards, something like that. So I think overall it looks pretty good, and yeah, it's a lot of pieces. So I think if you look how much a small miniature costs for this game, if you pay like $30 for a small miniature, and this has around 300 pieces, or even more, like 352 pieces. So I think the price is somewhat okay if we're talking about Kingdom Death Monster price range. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, we will go on. And next we will talk about the Gambler's Chest expansion, which is in digital proof right now. So I think this is a good sign. And yeah, the fact that Adam didn't mention any major hiccups with these test prints makes me hope that everything went pretty well and this whole thing will go to full print soon. And yeah, the plastic is already done, all the miniatures. The only thing we're really waiting for is the paper parts to be finished, and of course the game box. Let's just hope that the game box won't take too long. We'll have a quick look at this first one here, which is a philosophy book. And in the last update we already saw something about that. I quickly jumped over it, despite it being a major change to the core game. So now we'll take a bit closer look and see what this is all about. So first of all, these philosophy books are part of the new philosophy system that will replace some core mechanics of the original game. At the moment, gaining Hunt XP will trigger some generic story events that are listed in the core game rules, and those will be exactly the same for every survivor you control. With this new mechanic, every survivor will be assigned a philosophy book, and gaining Hunt XP will trigger certain story points within the book. This way, every survivor will have his own storyline, his own experience, and it will mix up a bit these repeating story elements of the game. Collective cognition is a similar thing to Hunt XP, but it will be gathered by the whole settlement. You will gather collective cognition points by hunting monsters, and you will get more collective cognition points by hunting different kind of monsters. At the moment, it is just a more reliable way to win the game if you hunt the same monster over and over again, like the level 2 antelope. But this system might actually change that and give you a rewarding and different approach. Fighting arts will be removed from the game and will be replaced by knowledge cards. These are basically the same, but knowledge cards will have more levels to it, so over time you will be able to upgrade them. So overall, this is a pretty neat new system. But the best part about it is that it is completely modular. So if we jump ahead and pass these Crimson Croc prototype files, we will see that there are still fighting arts included with the Gambler's Chest. This is just awesome. So you can play either way you want. You want to play with collective cognition, you can do that. You want to play the old system, you can do that as well. And next up we will see a gear card from the Crimson Croc, and this just shows us that our old fighting arts can still be used very well with the new gear. This gear card has a very nice effect for a community favorite weapon, Fist and Tooth. Your attacks will be buffed, but you will have to gain some bleeding tokens for it. So there are some core game cards that can help you with that. Unconscious Fighter will boost your survivability by allowing you to gain more bleeding tokens, and if you have a long and hard fight and you have just one survivor left, Last Man Standing will keep your survivor alive because he will not die of bleeding tokens. There are some more cards within the released content that will help you with these kind of gear cards, and at the end it's just nice to see that playing the old way is still a viable option. So it's not just replacing the old with the new and throw the old away, but you just can have a different experience with a different modular option. Let's have a look at the next card, which is a disorder, and a pretty nasty one I have to say. Pacifist. You refuse to fight, you cannot activate a weapon to attack, ignore this if you are frenzied. So, frenzied is a brain trauma. You have to roll a 10. So this is particularly nasty, and it's nice to see that some of the cards are really pushing it to the edge here. But again, maybe my healer won't need to fight at all, and if he gets frenzied, he can fight at least. Next up, we have some new hunt event cards. These are hunt events especially for Ark survivors. So my guess is these will be cards similar to the Lonely Tree card. They will be mixed into your hunting deck, and if you pull them, you will have a small table with just 10 hunt events. You will roll and then you will resolve the hunt event. Another thing you can pull from the hunt event deck are the new encounters. With the Gambler's Chest, we get one new encounter, the Bone Eaters. They have gone through some light changes compared to the last time we have seen them, but I think they mainly stayed the same. They have a huge card with a basic action, and they have 3 smaller decks that will trigger at certain points of the encounter. The first deck of cards are called Opportunity cards, and they only trigger if a Bone Eater rolls a perfect hit during his basic action, which is a Lantern 10. In the past, these cards were called Bone Eater AI cards, and I'm very glad that they changed the name, because they have quite a different mechanic to normal Monster AI cards, and this is just to avoid confusion. What in the past was known as a Opportunity card is now called a Counter card, and is part of the Counter Condition deck. These cards are drawn when a survivor attacked the monster but didn't kill it, or that didn't stand in his blind spot. The last set of cards that should be part of an encounter are not mentioned in the new update, but they are called critical effect cards. These cards are drawn when a survivor critically wounds a Bone Eater. We just have to hope that these didn't get cancelled and are still part of the counter gameplay. So, all in all, what do I think about this update? So, on one hand, we didn't get much new information, and a Dark Herald update would have been very welcome. On the other hand, we got what seems to be the most important thing right now, and that is an update to the production timeline of the Gambler's Chest expansion. So, I think the Gambler's Chest expansion is really far ahead now, and it is very likely that we will receive it this year, hopefully in the first half of the year. I'm very interested in your opinion about this update and also your feelings on the current state of this project. Are you still excited about the Gambler's Chest, like me, or is the wait just too long for you? See you next time.